everyone, it's Kathy Champion, and you're back here in my craft room and on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. Many of you know that I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located here in Gastonia, North Carolina, and I am so happy that you decided to spend a little time with me today. I hope that I can be an inspiration. I hope I can teach you a new trick or two and inspire you to create your own beautiful cards and paper crafting items. So before we get started, this is the cards that, if you watched my last video, you will see that these were the cards that the kit showed us how to make, and you got enough of supplies to make 3 of each of these. So I had some supplies left over, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create outside the box, not what Stampin' Up! Said to do, but just maybe put a little bit of my spin here and there on some of the items. We're going to get to that momentarily. Before we go any further, I want to announce that Stampin' Up! Is having I would say it's like an annual sale, but sometimes they do it more than once a year. But they do a designer series paper sale. This one is going to start July the 1st, and it's going to run through August the 2nd. So you will have a full month and 1 day to take advantage of this sale. And it's 15% off of these selected papers: Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted, Hand Pinned, one of my faves, In Good Taste. This is a really expensive pack of paper. It's regularly $21, but it's on sale for $17.85. It's a great time to grab that. All of the paper that is $11.50 is going to be $9.78. In the Wild, the Pansy Petals. This is gorgeous paper. You're a Peach. Tidings of Christmas. This is a 6x6 paper pack, but this might be a good time to pick up a pack of Christmas paper, because a lot of us do enjoy doing Christmas in July. And the Sweet Symmetry. These are some beautiful pattern papers that Stampin' Up! Has. So if you are interested in grabbing some of these papers, make a note and make sure you go and do some shopping during the month of July. So, with that being said, I want to show you, first of all, I want to show you what I do with my paper pumpkin stamp sets every month. Stampin' Up! Offers us a cover that we can print out on our computer, and we sell the little plastic cases. So you can actually make cases for your paper pumpkin, and on the back it shows you your stamps. And they're actually a little bigger so you can see them. And I like to, because these are photopolymer, I put the piece of plastic down underneath on the inside of this. I put it down with a glue dot, and then I stick my stamps on here like the new way that they do them, which makes it real easy. You don't have to fumble with that plastic. I just love doing this system. This prints out on an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, and then you just use your paper trimmer and trim it down to fit inside of here. These little pockets have a pocket, and you can just slide this in. You can see right here where I put this down with the glue dots, and you always put it down where it's backwards so that your stamps adhere to it in the right direction. And I have a video showing how I did that. But if you are interested, I will start linking, well, I'll tell you what, I'll start linking on my Facebook page, our Facebook group, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. If you haven't joined my group over there, go over there and join. You will find a lot of freebies there, files. All of my videos will be linked there, as well as pictures of the projects that we do. So it's just a great way for you to be able to hop over and see what's going on and take advantage of some of these files that you can download. But this particular, the inserts, I'll start putting the insert over there. So all you have to do, it is a PDF, so all you have to do is print it out on your computer. And I just printed this morning. You can see how beautiful it prints. And now this is all confined in here, and it's easy for me to go and put that on my shelf, and I've always got that particular stamp set. Now this one, because it coordinates so well with my artistically inked, I'll probably keep these two together for a little while because I love the fact that I have the smaller stamp here. So for those reasons, I think I just might do that. But I do have a couple of ideas for some cards today that I want to show you. So let's go ahead and get started. We don't need our instruction sheet because that showed us how to do the 3 cards that we've already done. And those cards were gorgeous, without a doubt. I'm going to go ahead and pull out some of my stuff that I might be using. Now today I'm going to pull in a little bit more of my own items, and when I say that, I mean like my glue dots, my stamp and seal, some things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and pull out these card bases, my little pieces that go on everything. There we go, and these little pieces, and maybe even my twine. Alright, so we got all of that out of our box. I'm going to move my box. I love this box. Look at that beautiful. I love it. That's that, like that alcohol ink blending. Beautiful, beautiful. And I got some more projects that I've got in mind. I've got some new supplies coming in, and I can't wait to get those, and we're gonna have some fun playing with all that. Alright, what I want to do first of all is I want to take actually, I want to do it on a plain piece. I'm going to grab a cardstock, a piece of white, Whisper white cardstock, and we're going to cut this down. I don't know why, but it seems like my cardstock lately, I don't know if it's static or what it is. It definitely hasn't been cold for it to be staticky. Well, I can't complain about the weather. It's been lovely here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 5.5, and I'm on the 11-inch side, so I'm cutting it in half. This is going to give me 2 card bases. So if you fold this in half, it's a card. Let's go ahead and fold this one in half at 4 1/4. That's half of 8.5. So I am going to score that and fold that into my card base. We'll crease that down a little bit more. Now this piece I want to cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to take off a 1/4 inch off of this. Just like that. And we are going to do some stamping on this piece. And I decided that it seems like the colors in the kit this time were all of the mauve, bumblebee, the evening evergreen, and those types of colors, which are beautiful, and I love those colors. But I wanted to do something in blue. So I thought I'm going to grab my Night of Navy, Pacific Point, and Balmy Blue. And I'm going to use these 3 colors, and we are going to use this stamp right here, the little watercolor wash. I'm going to get a piece of grid paper. See if I can find a piece over here that's not completely worn out. I probably need to grab some new, but let's see if I got something that's not too badly worn. This one looks pretty good. And what I want to do is I want to put this right here, and let's get a stamp block. I'm just going to load this up on my stamp block, about like that. And I'm going to start off with my darker ink because I'm going to probably go light with the darker. And I'm probably going to stamp off. So what I'm going to do is hit it once, stamp off, and then stamp on. Stamp it, stamp off, and stamp on. Stamp off, stamp on. And I'm going to do this all the way around the outer edges, just like that. Now I'm going to grab my, what did I do with it? It's always right here. I'm going to grab this, my little chamois. I did clean this morning, so it's nice and clean. And I'm going to clean that stamp off because we're going to move to our Pacific Point. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide that one back up there, and it looks like I've got some residue of ink. Anytime you have residue of ink on your stamp pads and you want to get it off, an alcohol wipe will take every bit of that off. And how cool is that? So now I'm going to go ahead and ink this, and I'm going to see how it, oh, that's pretty. I think I might go, we're going to go on and off with this one. Let's try one like that. Oh, I like it like that. We're going to stamp off on all of them. And it doesn't matter if you overlap. That's why I went with dark first. Oh, I don't like it when it does that. Let's see if we can ink up that side of it and get the rest of that. Oh, that's better. And it doesn't matter. This is very forgiving because it is like an ink wash. So I'm going to go one more time and maybe right there. And then I'm going to clean my stamp again because now I'm going to go into the Balmy Blue. And now we're going into a much lighter blue, and we'll stamp off and fill in. So this is going to be my filler. I am just going to go across some of these places and just fill in Now, if you didn't get this month's Paper Pumpkin, the artistically inked stamp will give you pretty much the same, it won't be this identical stamp, but it does have a stamp in here. This one right here you can use. This one has more of a flower shape, and of course that's a beautiful rose, but this one right here gives you a nice wash, and it is a good size stamp, so it covers a lot of real estate. But this coordinates so well, and I thought, I just love that. And it looks like I need a little bit darker blue right there, so I'm gonna grab my Pacific Blue, or Pacific Point, one more time. And I want to just touch it and touch it. I like that. I think I might go right there and a little bit right there. This is the good thing about doing this type of inking. There's really no right or wrong way. It's just however you want to put your ink on your paper. Looks like we need a little bit up here at the top. So I'm going to go right there and maybe right there. And I like that. I think that looks really pretty. And we've got a nice blue wash on this. So now I want to go, and I am going to use some of my dye. No, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to use one of these little black. I cut quite a few of these. These are almost like flashcards, and I have the white and a black. And so we're adding a little extra paper to this, but what we're going to do, we're going to put this onto a white card base. Let me pull this over so you can see what I'm doing. Clean off my stamp. Alright, on this piece here, I want to do a little more stamping. So let's grab that stamp set. We can go ahead and put this one back in since we are done with it. And I'm going to pull this one up. And what I want to do is maybe here. And then another one up there, and we're going to put thanks in the middle. So So what I want to do, and we're going to use our grid paper because I'm going to stamp on and off, and I am going to follow through with the blue, and I think I'm going to go to my medium shade of blue for this, which is, love this Pacific Point. It's such a pretty ink. So I'm going to grab this stamp on my block, and I'm going to ink this up, and I want to stamp this full on right there. And then I'm going to ink it again, but I'm going to turn my block around, and I'm going to put it to this corner and stamp it. And then I am going to grab black because I really want to accentuate on this little black frame. And I'm not too sure, I'm not going to cut this down and put a black frame, a black mat behind this. I think it's really going to add to the card. So let's see. So this right here is going to be thanks, and it's going to go across there like this. So let's take that one off, pick this up, and we're going to grab our Momento Tuxedo Black, and I am going to ink that up just like that. Give a little huff on it, and I'm going to put that down right in the middle, just like that. Love it. And then we are going to adhere that to this piece. So let's use a little bit of our Stampin' Seal. And I ran over the edge a little bit, but that's okay. We're just going to roll it back. Anytime you go over your edges like that, just use your finger and roll it back. It rolls back really well, and that way you won't have it hanging off the edge. Now I'm going to center this onto this piece of black. And in case you're wondering the size of these, the black piece is, I want to say it's 4 by, okay, the black is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and the white piece is 4 by 2 1/2. So now I want to decide if I want to I think I want to cut this down one more time, and then we're going to get a piece of black. I have a scrap piece of black here that is going to work. So I am going to cut this one down first, and I know I want it to be the same size as that one, which is 4 1/4 by 5 let's see, 4 4, not 4 1/4, I'm sorry, 4 by 5 1/4. We'll get this right in a minute. Let's see, 5 1/4. So now we need to cut this down to 3 3/4. Maybe I want to take it off of this side. 3 3/4. By 5. And then this is going to pair on this. I love layers. Layers makes cards look rich. All right, so that's going to layer on that. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on here. And you could use your liquid glue for this if you prefer your liquid glue. Or you can use the Stampin' Seal, whatever your preference is. So now I'm going to set this on here, getting my little borders just right, like so. And then we're going to put this on the top, but I think I'm going to pop this one up. I want this to kind of sit up a little bit. So let's grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to use up some of these. Let me grab my scissors, and I'm going to just cut and I'm going to use one of these in my corner. Let's see, I think I got another corner right here. I'm going to put this one up here at the top. Or the bottom, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which orientation. Yeah, that's the bottom. And then I'm going to use just some of these across here. I love using up my dimensionals like this, you know. These things can be expensive, so, you know, why waste them? So I'm going to take that whole piece off, and I'm going to run about half and half. So let's do half of it right there, and do the other piece right about here. And then now we're ready to adhere this down onto here, and we want to try to get this as straight as we can. And I got sticky on that. I should have used my silicone craft mat, but I didn't. So we're going to take that up in just a minute. I want to get this as nice and centered as I can. That looks pretty good. So now we're going to put this whole thing onto our card base, just like that. And how cute is that? That makes for a really super cute card. I'm going to burnish my edges down on this before I go any further, because I didn't do that when I first started, and I should have. Okay, let me get my trusty bone folder out, and let's see. We can get that ironed out pretty good. And we're going to lay this on here just like that. And I think we can get away with a little bit of seal on this as well. And then we're going to put this on here just like this. And look how pretty that turned out. Now we're not done, because you know we got to put a little bit of bling on it. So I am going to pull out the matte black dots. I think this card really calls for those. And I am going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And we are going to put maybe one right there. And one here. And one here. And I think that's all we're going to need on this card. Isn't that cute? Simple, but yet we have that flare of color back there that kind of brings out our black and our blue. I think that turned out really cute. Alternative for our paper pumpkin and totally different than our paper pumpkin. So let's see what else we can do. Let's look at our card kit again. And here's what we have. I want to take one of these and I want to cut this down. And I think I want to do something with that. So let's see what we can come up with. Let's cut this card. Let's go ahead and cut this off at 4 1/4. Just like so. And we're probably going to end up cutting that down, but not for right this minute. Let's go ahead and cut. I want to angle cut, but let me decide how I want to do this. Let's get a card base. And I've got a card base over here. I just need to pull one out. These are just some pre-cut card bases that I have cut in advance so that I would have them ready. So I want to come down about 2 inches and 2 inches. So let's mark this. Let's mark this at 2 inches right there. And I'm going to take my pencil and just put myself a tick mark right there. And then I'm also going to measure 2 inches this way. Or do I want to go 3? Let's do 2 1/2. Let's split the difference and do 2 1/2. So let's go 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. And now what we're going to do, we're going to line this up in our trimmer on those tick marks, and we're going to cut off that corner. And then we're going to do the same thing at the bottom. We're going to measure 2 1/2 and do a tick, and then turn it this way to 2 1/2. And do a tick mark. And we're going to line those up, not that one, but this one and this one. And we're going to, oops. Let's see, maybe if we put it this way, we'll have a little more leverage to hold it. So that tick mark to this tick mark. Just like that. And now we've got these pieces that we can put in the corner of this. But let's use the other piece of this as a mat. So let's go ahead and cut this to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just kind of creating on the fly, y'all. So it's no rhyme or reason for what I'm doing. I'm just kind of testing the water. You know, instead of the white card base, I may want to put this on a rich razzleberry, which would be beautiful. Let's see what this would look like under here. Yeah, I think I want to do this on a rich razzleberry. Let's look at our rich razzleberry and see if that's a color that we would. Rich razzleberry or blackberry bliss? Maybe blackberry bliss. Or rich razzleberry. Decisions. Blackberry bliss or rich razzleberry. I'm thinking the rich razzleberry is going to win out on that one. Okay. So Blackberry Bliss gets to go back into its little folder, and I don't know. Let me grab another piece because I want my card to open in the other direction. And I had a card base already cut. That worked out good, didn't it? Alright, so now what I want to do, I think I want to cut this piece down. So we're going to cut this to 3 3/4 by 5. So let's get our other piece over here. And we just got a mess over here, y'all. Nothing but a mess. Alright, I'm going to cut that at 3 3/4. So all we're doing is taking a 1/4 inch off of it on both sides. So this is going to go to 5. And now we can take this piece and put it on here. And I'm going to do it with glue dots. I'm going to put a glue dot up in each corner. So my trusty little glue dots. I love the glue dots for putting vellum on cards. I think it's the neatest way to do it. And it's so easy. So now we're just going to set this down right about there. Just like so. And then we're going to put a piece of this right in that corner. And this I'm going to glue down. I'm going to use a little liquid glue on it. And we just want to be careful that we don't put too much on here because you don't want oozing. And you got a nice little guideline here to line it up and press. I'm going to use my bone folder just to help me iron out the glue. And then I'm going to grab my other piece for the other top corner. And again, a little liquid glue on here. And we'll sit it down right on that corner. That's pretty. And all of this is going to go on here, but we need to do a sentiment for the middle. So I'm going to grab my what about my hippo dies, because you know I love that, or the Stitch So Sweetly. I always turn to the Stitch So Sweetly. They are my favorite. And I am thinking that these two right here would be perfect. And what I would like to do is have a piece of the rich razzleberry right there. So let me grab a scrap. Nope, not quite big enough. That one will work. So I'm going to put this down and we're going to run that through the die. Or through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Just like that. And then that is going to go right there in the middle. But we got some other little fancy footwork to do. We need a piece of the fresh Freesia to layer over top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab from my end colors a little scrap of the fresh Freesia. It's always nice to have scraps, isn't it? I always turn to my scraps first when I need a small piece, because I love using those up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece out. And there we go. And this is the piece we're going to do our stamping on. And see, this is going to pair so well right over top of that, but we still have a little bit more that I want to do. I'm going to use the rest of this piece, and we're going to use the dies from the artistic set. Let's see, did I have those dies out? Nope. I thought maybe I did, but I don't. Here they are. What I want to do is I want to cut some of these leaves using that piece. And then we're going to cut those leaves apart and decorate a little bit around. Now I know in order to do this you would need more than your paper pumpkin. You would need to have this piece, these dies as well. But we are doing alternatives, so this is an alternative to what we have. So I am going with it. So I think I'm going to do them right there, across there like that. So I'm going to just lay it down and crank it through. And let's take that off. Pull our leaves up. And these are going to have to be punched out. It cut, but we need to get our little tool. And this makes life so much easier. This is my little die cut, my little box with my brush and my little sponges. And when you have an intricate die like this that has lots of little pieces that need to come out, this is the way to do it. It just takes all the effort out of it and makes it so easy for you to be able to get just about all those pieces out with a couple of swipes of your brush. Now, it probably won't get them all, but one thing it does do, it kind of curls your leaves, which makes that really nice. So what I like to do is go back, and any of these that didn't pop out, I just use the other end of my Take Your Pick tool, and I just poke them out. I find this, I don't know, I find it relaxing. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's, you know, like the picker that's in us. We like to pick, and to me this is like, it's like picking. I get to pick out these little pieces and I love it. Alright, we're going to put this back in there and get that back in its little designated place. And I am going to cut this right about there. And I'm just going to use my paper snips and snip that off like that. And I got one leaf more than I wanted to, but that's okay. We can always glue that back on. I'll do it with a dot. I need to decide what I want to make this card, and I think looking at my stamp set, I'm going to do You Are Amazing. I think this will pair really pretty, and I'm going to stamp this in the rich Razzleberry. I just think it would be pretty in that color on this fresh Freesia. Plus it will coordinate with what's on the background, so that's like a win-win for me. So I'm going to pull my thanks off and go ahead and pick that up and get my rich Razzleberry. We're going to go ahead and ink that up and then stamp right there. Beautiful. Okay, so now we are going to, I want to pop that up on here, so let's put some dimensionals behind that. So let's go ahead and get this centered up. That looks so pretty, don't y'all think? Now we're going to put that on there. We haven't got it ready yet, so let's just work on this piece. So what I want to do with my little leaves is I want to tuck some leaves back in here. Tell you what, let's just go ahead and cut this one completely loose. And we can get a couple right there, like that. I'm going to use liquid glue for these. And I'm going to put my glue on both the front and the back. That'll give it a chance to stick top and bottom wherever it lands. Just like that. And then we are going to take this leaf along with this leaf. I think what I'm going to do is glue that to that one. So again, a little liquid glue. And stick that down on there. And let's turn that, oops, and see if we can slide it right underneath here. I like that. And we still have a few more of these. Trying to decide if I want to put more on here or if that's plenty. I think that is good, and we'll put some jewels on it, and I think that will be suffice. So I'm going to turn this over, and using some liquid glue, I am going to stick this down. that. And now I'm going to do glue on this and put it on the card base. And the reason I like to do the alternatives, I like to show you that you can take your paper pumpkin, use some elements from it, and also throw in some of your other items that you have in your craft room and make beautiful, beautiful cards. I mean, how lovely is that? I think that is stunning. I love the colors. Now here's two cards that look totally different, but they're made from the very same set. So what I want to do now is I want to grab some of these beautiful sequins. Let me grab the my dies. These need to go right there. And we are going to grab these sequins because these came in our paper pumpkin and they are gorgeous. And what's so great about these, they're iridescent. They pick up whatever color they are on. I love them. They are so, so pretty. So I'm going to, oops, picked up a little bit of putty on that one. That happens sometime. And I'm going to do one more. Right there. Now, is that not a gorgeous card? I love the way that turned out. So that's two cards that we made with our alternative stamps. I think for the sake of the video, because this is going to be a Saturday video, which is going to be a little different for me because I haven't been doing Saturday videos lately. I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. I'm going to bring over my cards, and I will list all the products that I used outside of the pieces from my paper pumpkin, which would have been our white cardstock, our black cardstock, our little black matte enamel dots, and of course with this one, the die that I used to cut out our leaves, and our rich razzleberry. The other things that we got, I did pick out a piece of this, but I used the background off of one of these for my my piece, and where I cut these little triangles out off of, I used the other piece of that for my leaves. So I was able to use quite a bit. Let's move this out of our way and center in on our two beautiful cards. You'll have to leave me a comment and let me know which one of these you like the best. I really can't pick a favorite because they're different, but they're both I think they're both really pretty cards. Really, really pretty. And I'm not too sure that this one doesn't need a little something else. I was actually thinking about some ribbon, but I'm not sure. You know, sometimes we're kind of on the fence about ribbon, and that's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm not sure. Just not sure. I got this little black glimmer ribbon that I love. I think this carried over. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. Now, I don't like to use products that y'all can't buy. And I might just tie a simple little one knot bow. And let's cut this. And maybe put that right there. So there we go. Those are our two alternative cards that we made using pieces from our paper pumpkin, along with some other accessories, as I stated earlier. I hope you enjoyed the process of watching these alternative cards. I still have some more ideas, so I may be bringing a couple of more cards to you using the same suite and kit. I absolutely love it. And if you are in love with this particular suite, I am telling you that you will love, absolutely love, the artistically inked stamp set. And it comes in a bundle with the artistic dies. These are absolutely stunning. You have seen the paper, and the paper is just as gorgeous. I believe the paper is still on back order. I'm digging for my pack now. I'm so glad that I got this before it went on back order. And I can't put my hands on it. Where did it go? Here it is. This paper pack, this is actually separate. This came with the suite if you bought the entire suite. And it came with some gems as well. But this paper is luscious. I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. So anyway, when this comes back in stock, I will let everybody know that the paper is back in. So that way, if anybody's interested in picking up this whole suite, you'll be able to do so. It is gorgeous. It is one of the prettiest papers. No wonder they decided to use that particular suite for the front of our catalog. The new catalog, that's exactly what's on the front of this. It is that suite. It is gorgeous. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you and love you all so very much. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. Praise Him and worship Him because He is worthy. I love you guys so much, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye-bye.